the passive in conjunction with just the additional AD that he gets from his Q early levels, really, really strong. Ooh, a Kali answer into the Gnar. Pretty creative counter pick there. We can talk more about that when we get into game. But the thing about Nocturne is or is he looking to split map? Is he actually just going to go for a gank?
I wouldn't mind this. Rooster, in terms of laning, already ahead of Broken Blade, dashes away with a shuriken flip, gets hit by the wallop, goes back in, Ignite down, but Broken Blade flashes out of range, and with the Fear Tether going off, Skewmon should be able to get a pretty easy kill on Rooster.
Okay, so first blood goes to Skewmon.
A little bit in draft. It hasn't so far been Broken Blade's spring.
No, it certainly hasn't. Like, there's always context behind every stat, of course, but they do reinforce this idea and this sentiment that Broken Blade has been struggling. Now, Hanson could be struggling.
Focus Resolve going down. It's just going to get the root. Doesn't have the mana for anything, and without barrier, because he's running TP, just gets taken down in the 2v1.
No scope. 360, level 6.
So first, it wasn't a 360. He didn't do a spin, and he was looking at
Skewmon ulting.
Going in with the paranoia. The Fear going to come out as well. Flash out from Nuke as he looks to get away. Put into the egg now. Bukata's going to leave him. Those eggs are pretty rotten as G2 will find a kill. Caps takes it. Meanwhile, Labrov looking for Trimby and Product down towards this bottom side. Exhaust down onto Hans Summer. Essence Flux into the auto attacks. Arcane Shift away. Bubble doesn't quite connect. Product shielded up by the Inspire out of Trimby, but Skewmon's on his way across. No flash for him. No flash for Product either. Duskbringer. Oh, just short of clipping onto the Ezreal, but now Trimby needs to be a bit cautious because he's feared underneath his tower. Does still have the flash. No heal to help him out here. The Mandred focus resolve as Labrov tanks a tower shot, flashes away very late, and underneath the tower, Skewmon just dies. Bukata's on his way across. No flash, no Bolt Breaker. Labrov looking for the mood speed from the ebb and flow. We'll get it with a Tidecaller's Blessing too. Bolt Breaker out again as they look for Labrov under the tower. They'll take him. Bukata trades his life for it though, as Hans Summer picks up a freebie.
That some shenanigans are happening.
Melmore behind here as 4 members of G2 begin to collapse on Product kill. Arcane Shift out of the Fear, nicely done, but he's delaying the inevitable you have to feel. Paranoia out from Skewmon just to make sure they secure the kill. G2 get their 4th. Skewmon gets his 2nd, and with it a 700 gold lead. Trimby looking to see if Caps oversteps. Yeah. Inner Flame coming out. Flash Frost as well for the stun. There's the wall. Does Caps have a way to sneak by it? The answer is a resounding no, as Caps falls to the Glacial Storm and Nuke gets on the board. Skewmon the next target. It feels like after one person dies, everyone else just follows like lemmings off the cliff. Bukata flashed forward for an attack. What is going on, Benny? Trimby will walk out through the tower range to get himself to safety. And ship grubs have been started by Skewmon. As you say, no real dragon prio so far. There's a small window for G2 to do it, but instead they went for a blue buff steal. Bukata,
because there is that small window where you get that spike, but I'll have to shut up as the jungler is looking for a gank on a Broken Blade.
Got it in, cease and desist there for the follow-up. Perfect execution coming out from Rooster. BB goes mega. The wallop goes wide though, and without that CC, there's no escape for the Gnar. Broken Blade dies, and while it's happening, G2 will take the first dragon of the game.
Yeah, nice gank from Shifters, and then a nice cross map coming through from G2. Overall, a fairly even trade, but funneling a little bit more gold into Rooster is very much what
Being up here quite a lot of the time, and it doesn't surprise me, because getting Rooster ahead on the Akali makes a lot of sense. Vault Breaker onto Broken Blade just as he goes mini, Betty. Cease and desist there for the follow-up, and the jump isn't going to get him out of Ignite as he ticks down. Rifthold is now the new target in
problem on the side lane. And I don't really think that this is necessarily Broken Blade's fault, per se, but I mean, there's a world where perhaps he could have been a little bit more considerate, seeing as that really feels like the only lane that Shifters have been looking for ganks for in this game.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's always one of those, like, play safe and you're dying under tower. He hasn't died under tower, he's died in the middle of the lane, but he also wants to get prio in the top lane to allow his jungler to do the Rift Herald, allow him to move down without losing camps, right? So I agree with you, but also there's always that balance that has to be struck as Camps looks for a Realm Warp behind Nuke, who flashes away. Shroud of Darkness came out from Skewmon, but he's on the wrong side of the wall. Nuke's walls have actually been really solid this game as Bukata comes in to help secure the kill. Caps looking for the damage. Tidal Wave out from Labrov. This feels greedy. Broken Blade's down here as well, as perhaps they were thinking they could catch out Nuke in time with an Aqua Prism into some spell flux, but no flux given by Shifters. Didn't give them the opportunity to find the kill. They'll still take the tower though as G2 crack open the first turret of the game.
So Broken Blade now hesitant to try and match in the top side given the strength of Rooster in the side lane.
Dragon Pit, but Skewmon just starting it up, and I think Shifters have said, okay, you can take the second Drake of the game, we'll give you that liberty. Instead, we'll try and take the mid lane towers. Broken Blade once again on the wrong side of the wall. Nuke locking people in cages on this Anivia as the Reptile charges in, and Shifters get their second turret of the game, and with it, 1,000 gold lead, Betty.
Great patience.
It's not their laning phase that they have struggled with too much. It is the mid-game decision-making, as we see Trimby getting caught out by Hans Summer and Lebrov, and Trimby's decision to be there was not ideal.
Yeah, it was a bit of a... Hang on a second. It looks like Bukato's looking for another gang.
The Season Assist is available. Rooster looking for the chase. Gunblade for the slow. They dive onto Broken Blade once again, and Broken Blade dies once again. Not much you can do about that, unfortunately, for BB.
Just trying to catch that top wave. This tower, though, the kind of long con after securing that mid tower, easily secured. That gold going to be fed into Rooster, who is now the...
They've started to do it, but they give it up. It is sole point for G2, and that Dragon's going down very quickly. Caps caught out, though. Season Assist there for the follow-up. Caps there, shield not going to be enough to save him. The stopwatch coming out from Rooster as he is speared up by Skewmon, but he manages to dash out with a perfect execution. Skewmon goes down, but Ugg beginning to pop off on this Ezreal as G2 are forced away, and the smite comes out from Shifters. Next up,
she provides with both the ultimate and the wall. She's going to have to do the same thing here to stop G2 from approaching.
Hans trying to step up with 3 items. Again, a Glacial Storm into the wall. Valkyrie has to be used by Hans Summer, and he backs away after it. Lebrov's still looking for something here. There's a Realm Warp available for Caps, but they're not going to be able to get a range in time. Shifters will get the Baron. 25 minutes in, a 3k gold lead, and the Baron buff for the next 3 minutes.
So remember that G2's very cautious of Rooster on the flank, but once G2 gets targeted, things kind of go into disarray. They immediately turn their attention onto the Akali, but a shield comes.
Buff up the wave with the Baron buff to make it a little bit harder for Caps to clear out, but Shifters have put all of their attentions towards this top lane tier 2. Hans Summer on the wrong side of the wall once again, as Nuke continues to put those crystallizers in advantageous positions. He's got a little bit of practice on the bird.
I mean, we're seeing, again, one of the reasons why I just kind of don't like Nocturne right now. Like, it's so hard for G2 to really engage into this comp, and obviously they're on the back foot right now.
While the rest of Shifters are down with their final couple of minion waves on this push. 20 seconds left on the Baron buff. They're looking to try and take down another tier 2 out of it. Would leave the inhibitor towers up after the Baron does expire. Realm Warp a possibility here for Caps as he could try and get BB behind.
Good Rocket Belt away from a Nocturne Q.
It's so versatile.
Oh, well, speaking of versatile, Bukato coming in from over the wall.
Season Assist onto Hans Summer. The rest of the team not really there as Caps begins to open up. The dive onto the backline from Skewmon's going to take out Trimby, and now Bukato is put into the Guardian Angel. True Shot barrage out, Nuke flashing away from Broken Blade. Rooster now going to join the fray. Immediately stunned. There's the Aqua Prism. If only he had a rocket belt, he could have dodged it. Realm Warp in for the chase as Shifters overstep in the mid lane, and G2 punish them. G2 will find 3 off the play, and just like that, the fortunes turn in their favor.
Like, how is this trio going to follow up on this deep of a dive? Caps becomes the target on the other side, but he chunks out things as well, where, like, G2, as much as they slump, as much as they make mistakes, like, you can't just assume that it's a free win once you've got a lead, right? They've got smart players that are very aware. But I see, oh, Skewmon.
Ricardo looking for the Season Assist onto Hans Summer. Paranoia means that he's out of range, and with a tidal wave there for the follow-up, the damage is not going to be enough. Skewmon traded back as Rooster dives the backline, but now he's on the wrong side of 4 members of G2. A stopwatch. Man, he wishes he could stop, rewind, and take that play back as he goes down.
Respect Caps' ability to quickly collapse, and it ends up being these numbers advantage. Now G2 have the gold lead, which is very frustrating for Shifters, because like, you're in such a good spot. I feel like you have such a good comp. It's so difficult for G2 to find these engages, and you just make it easy for them as Nuke might now be targeted.
In. The rest of Shifters are here.
Whoa.
The jump across the wall with the blast cone. Broken Blade going to get caught out by Rooster, who needs to get out of dodge, but Skewmon now is the one behind enemy lines, and with the chase coming out from Shifters, this is the enemy jungler. They'll catch him in the GA. Caps is still pushing mid, does have the Realm Warp, but they're not going to join their good friend Skew, who's skewered by Rooster and picks up his 5th kill of the game. G2, though, will punish the fact that Shifters sent a lot of players up towards the top side by taking down the tier 2 in mid.
Well, G2, I think...
I made a new item there for a second. Paranoia out, and yeah, you can't collapse anymore. As Shifters, a good Baron take by G2. Shifters, though, will turn their attentions towards the Drake. Realm Warping to top lane. It's going to be a tier 2. We'll see if it's any more than that.
They don't care about the Dragon at all, and this is putting a lot of pressure on the Shifters. They're constantly having to react, and like again, say what you will about G2, they have great map awareness. They know how to punish, and they know how to take advantage of Shifters having to make quick decisions in this situation, and they're running the Rift right now. They get themselves another tower. They're putting pressure onto top, though.
Yeah, Corky's poke is good, but his auto attacks aren't that long.
That's true.
Nor rises, nor broken blades. There's Skumon, Shroud of Darkness, Realm Warp coming out, Paranoia being used as well with the TP coming in. G2 read this like a book, but not one of those complicated ones. It was like a kindergarten book. Skumon sat in the mid lane, and all that happened immediately was an easy kill for G2. I couldn't think of a quick rhyme there, Betty. Skumon sat in the mid lane. Shifters took the
Shifters experience a ton of pain.
Nice, good one, Betty. That's why you're the poet. I'm not. That's why you write the rap battles.
You can stop now. You can stop digging the shovel. It's all good. I'll take over from here.
Digging the shovel? That's a mistake.
Another inhibitor is going to fly. I think G2's looking to end the game right now. They have the numbers advantage. 3 inhibitors down. They just need a couple more waves with the Baron. They should be looking to close this one out. Yeah,
it should be pretty easy from here. Hansama just stepping up with those Sheen procs from the Triforce. Shifter's going to try and defend, but they don't have a huge amount of engage when that jungler is dead. It's all kind of on the buy as Rooster goes in, does dive onto Labrov. A minion eats the shuriken, and Labrov will survive through it. Meanwhile, towards the top side, Caps has a souse. Labrov takes the kill. The Nexus towers fall, and Shifters once again experience a mid-game collapse. It is synonymous with them these days. The Shifters try to defend. Skumon has a GA. Broken Blade has enough health to take down the Nexus. G2 clean
it. It's just that, like, I think of her as a shotgun champion, and once you fired the shot, it takes so long to reload.
Yeah.
And so you've really got to make that shot count, you know? And I think into champions like Kaza, it can be really difficult, especially if you. How many hair of the dogs can you have?
That's
a real question.
True, man.
Right, bot crab going to be fought over.
So I don't even think about the hair. Oh, maybe a collapse coming in from Shifters towards this crab, as you were talking about.
Oh, but Nuke gets to roam first.
Yeah, Nuke is coming across. Trimby chunked down. Caps looking for the flank position. Bukata going in with a shield bolt. Trimby flashing forward as well. The seismic shove doesn't connect, and now Skumon can turn it around. Caps flash to miss the twofold hex on Trimby, but Skumon doesn't miss that decimating smash. Find. Small gold lead for G2. Most of that sitting on Skumon. Bukata is going towards the mid lane. Has the flash. Going to shield bolt in with the flash. Knock Caps back. And that's the combination that you talked about, Betty. Tried and true. Works every time. Labrov's going to run across level 6 already. Bukata is also level 6. Grand Starfall always an option. Skumon looking at Nuke in the mid lane here, who flashes away. But the flash chase with the Cyclone. Tempestuous G2's bot lane is moving up. Skumon forced away. Bukata can pull the Drake out.
This is... Bukata kicks him into a pit. My dragon.
It doesn't really count if the guy jumps out of the pit. We'll go back to discussion of 300 as a movie.
Yeah, no, I don't think we will have time. I think we're going to get... Oh, actually, we're going to get action
all out. Pull across the wall here into the Tribush. Rooster flashes over BB, and with the Grand Starfall coming in, Skumon here to protect. Bukata flashes in with a shield bolt. The spear's not going to be enough damage. Aegis Assault out as Trimby is spotted on a control ward. Cyclone back in. Pop Blossom. Skumon still takes the kill. Nuke trying to get up with the Weaver's Wall, but he's isolated by Caps and Labrov. A double for Skumon. Once again, a skirmish around the river goes absolutely pear-shaped for Shifters.
The flash commitment from Bukata, I think, was just too much of an overcommitment. He thinks that he has the damage to get the kill on the Broken Blade, but all he ends up doing is luring his team into a false sense of security.
The question is, can they actually find it? Because in comes Skumon again with the Cyclone, and Nuke... Well, that weather...
can test the Dragon. G2 won't have those ultimates available.
Tangle Barbs onto Hansama here. Has to use the barrier. Help Pick's coming out as well. Paddock doesn't have the killer instinct for any further chase, but that's good damage on the G2 bot lane, opening up Bukata to look for a gank. Skumon doesn't have that Cyclone. There's the TP behind from Caps, though, as Hansama is forced away. Now Skumon's going to meet the enemy jungler. Good shield vault for the stun immediately. Caps flashes for the twofold hex. That's the second time he's done that this game, and both times he's missed. However, Bukata doesn't have the luxury of walking out like his bot lane did, and that Baker is going to get fried.
So G2 counter by having Skumon deviate from his normal pathing, path too slow. The resets come out later than G2's. Remember that even though Broken Blade lost the wave top, he was just already committed to making the swap happen.
But for G2, because they played around that
yeah, I was about to say, they can drop the Herald mid as well after seeing the investment bot. So this is a just really good macro from G2 overall. They could use the Herald top lane if they wanted to.
Nah, I think you just charge it in mid. Oh, very. the genius of macro movement.
Well, yeah, because the thing is, you've now got 3 members of Shifters committed to top lane, and then the tower died. So in theory, it would get another charge?
Maybe. I thought it had to charge into a tower, and then that tower died for you to get the extra charge. Sometimes the mechanics of Rift Herald can be slightly confusing. As Grand Starfall comes out from Bukada, Pathmaker out from Broken Blade, but he is going to die! Shutdown goes over to the Spartan.
So good job from Shifters, finding a punish onto Broken Blade, who's just overextended in the bottom lane. G2 have used all of their tempo to make these top plays happen, where they've secured that top tower, and now you just kind of have to play mega weak side, right? Yeah. The rest of your team is resetting. They may be clearing out some camps, pushing out another wave, and there's going to be no support for Broken Blade. Meanwhile, Shifters want to try and do something on the map, and so he just becomes the easiest target to play for. With Dragon spawning in a minute's time, G2 have set themselves up very nicely to just push out another wave, get as much gold as you can, ideally complete another item. You'll have that advantage. But it looks like Shifters getting eager to make a play of their own.
Getting shifty with it. Trimby in with the Pop Blossom. Between worlds goes Caps. Doesn't really... Oh, Caps is back in! Do they know? Do they know the weirding out as Trimby takes a chunk? Caps goes in with the rocket belt, and man, he went between worlds and then he went into the afterlife. That was not what Caps wanted to do there at all.
I think that was a misplay from Caps. He ended up giving over a kill. Now, Broken Blade is going to try and interrupt the backs.
Seismic Shove's going to knock back that Kasante. No real collapse coming in from the rest of G2. Broken Blade just went in here on his lonesome. Well, BB, anything Caps can do, you can do better, it seems, as he just ints as well. Okay, dudes.
2 mechanical misplays. Shifters is going to get this top tower. This is going to be like a 1k gold swing over to Shifters. A much-needed relief fund passed over by G2. As Shifters will now be able to push all the way towards the tier 2. I think this is a little greedy to go for this.
Yeah, I think he needs to stop after this point, especially when you're spotted by the Squires. Boom. Wave cleared out by the weirding. Yeah, G2 shifted from second.
Pantheon ultimate, I can see him in the position. He's throwing it top.
Starfall out as they look for Caps. Between worlds he goes. Are you going back this time, Caps? He's going back! Because there's a TP behind. This time, a slightly better decision. Bukada's going to flash, then jump onto LeBron, who has to use the Wild Growth. Weaver's Wall coming out. They'll dive on Hans Summer, who jumps across the wall. Seismic Shove doesn't connect. And here comes the gold. Skewmon finally joining the phrase. Bukada falls. Skewmon still looking for that second Cyclone. Nimbus strike forward. Broken Blade on the back line is taken out, but Paduk falls for it. Shifters have got 1 out of the fight, but can't really get much more.
It's a very heavy commitment from G2. Shifters happy to get... And Shifters, if they can take him out of the fight, then maybe they can win.
Well, that's the clone. And Bukada is at 3rd HP. Skewmon on the wrong side of the wall. Cyclone is going to come now. Seismic Shove gets him back, and they take him out of the fight, Betty. Lebrov, the next target, slowed up by Nuke. He's going to use that Hellfix shield to try and survive. Seismic Shove has to be flashed away from. Zoning tool. If Skewmon goes in, he then tries to Pop Blossom the rest of G2 away. But right now, G2 are using Broken Blade as a zoning tool of their own. They are a bit split now. Skewmon stepping forward, look at that Cyclone. Nuke trying to get him from the side as well as Hans Summer is down to half HP. Nuke chipping away at Skewmon. Broken Blade dashing forward. They flash. They go in with the Tangle Barbs onto the Wukong, but he can dash across the wall. And there's no real chase left for Shifters. Broken Blade the only target who is by himself right now. Still has the flash, will hold on to it. Pathmaker flashes the wall. The chase continues for Shifters. Broken Blade dashes to a colleague. Slowed up though, it's enough. Grand Starfall coming out. Wild Growth from LeBron to try and survive into the Mikhails to dodge a Shield Bolt stun, but with a Killer Instinct, Paduk and Bukada clean it up.
Shifters will
straight down to 4,000. There's the Weaver's Wall. Lebrov gets knocked back by it. Pop Blossom trying to get us the backline, but Roos is just dead as Skewmon and Broken Blade dive in, and that's all the damage just gone. BB finds a double. The Drake's going to be secured by G2 and Betty. It was 90 seconds, and the faithful have not been rewarded.
So it's a very good spot for G2
now.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Yep. I got 420 gold though, and it's the 20th of April, Betty.
That's true.
Caps is blazing it, man. Like, what a beast.
I mean, he's been quiet this game, but hey, he gets himself a solo kill in top lane, and with the death timers at 48 seconds, G2 off that pick may very well be able to close things out.
That's, man, those are just the moments where you're like, go for Caps. Seismic Shove back. He's going to die here. Nice stuff all around from Shifters to get the shutdown, but they're losing an inhibitor for it. The mid wave as well is getting pushed up by Broken Blade, so they're likely to lose a tier 2 at least. Are Shifters
gambling that G2 can't end the game?
I think they just want a tier 2 on Nuke. I think they just want a little bit more gold. I don't think G2 can end off a singular push, but they can definitely take 2 inhibitor towers and 2 inhibs. Skewmon does have Flash and Cyclone.
Yeah, it looks like they're probably just going to take this inhibitor and then...
Back away?
Yeah, just back away. Wait for camps to respawn. Play for top
Nuke
tower.
could TP behind. There's a ward there.
Oh, he's going to.
He's going to go for it. Oh, okay. Not on the middle ward. That does make sense. He has a Weaver's Wall. We've got Grand Star Fall as well if Ricardo wants to chase any further. It's Rooster TPing in. Swingers, the jungle VIP. Can't have any like lousy wolves in this place, Benny.
You're right, yeah. No, you're right. Anyway, G2 are
too
on
close
the
to
tower.
lions. Okay. Oh, it's Jungle Book.
Right, they are eventually taking this tower down.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, the tower is down.
Broken Blade acting as bodyguard, trying to protect the team.
And he's continuing to act as a bodyguard. However, getting quite beaten up as he flashes away with the wild growth on him. Killer Instinct in from Paduk. He'll take the kill. The Acadian raining up. Trimby going for Labrov as well, who doesn't have the wild growth. And Paduk gets a double. Cyclone coming out, and it's all onto Nuke. But Skewmon's the only one left alive on this top side, and he might not be for much longer. He's going to get hit with a Void Seeker. The Blast Cone will be in his favor. Picks up some Cinders for the move speed, and now has to use the decoy into a Nimbus Strike into Blast Cones again. Oh, the Gromp is standing on the Blast Cone! Skewmond! You were the king!
G2's best players to not really do anything.
Yeah, just wait.
Yeah, you just wait for the super minions to do work. You can see in the bottom left of your screen the timers of those inhibitors. 30 seconds left on that bot one, still over a minute. So there's enough waves that G2 can stack up and put pressure down. Just keep shifters interested. Then when you appear in mid lane, exactly like we're seeing Nuke now, this is your opportunity to try and fish for something if you're G2.
Rooster does have TP. He's going to use it. Didn't quite see what he completed there. Guardian Angel is the buy. It's his final item. Skewmon still keeping that Elder interested. Nuke dealing with the mid wave. He has teleport as well. Poke landing onto Hans Summer. The only problem for G2 is if they don't pull the trigger at some point, the poke is big from shifters, right? You have Rooster who can clear out this wave. Accelerated Shock Blast will do a bunch of damage. Meanwhile, in the top side, they're losing an inhibitor tower. That's G2 who've lost their first inhib tower of the game. Poke continuing to land. Trimby looking for a flank position here. Has a Blast Cone for the Pop Blossom. Skewmon on the Drake. It's down to 8k. Labrov almost down, uses the Redemption. Nuke goes in with the Weaver's Wall. Skewmon down to half HP. Trimby still looking for that Pop Blossom. Hans Summer trying to step up. Caps goes in between worlds. Paduk almost falls. Trimby there. Pop Blossom. Killer Instinct in from Paduk. The Elder Drake secured by G2. Skewmon wins the smite fight. Broken Blade dashes across the wall, but G2 with the Elder on their shoulders will clean up the fight. Double GAs will just raise the dead, and the zombies are sent back. G2 clean up the fight, and shifters once again lose it.
A 5-0 ace off the back of Skewmon securing that smite. It got a lot closer than it needed to be. Shifters found a final fight to give them a bit more hope, but that hope was snuffed out as G2 looks to 2-0 this best of 3.
And G2 are going to go 3-2 in the LEC here in spring. It has been a tumultuous road so far, and there are still many steps to climb on the